Let's face it, life isn't easy. If you're stuck in a bad relationship, betrayed or afraid of tomorrow, financially insecure, or desperate for a breakthrough, you've come to the right place. Dr. Carmen Harra is a renowned psychologist, intuitive, relationship expert, and best-selling author, and she's here to give you the miracle guidance you need. Her new call-in show, Miracle Guidance for Everyday Life, offers profound wisdom, practical advice, daily exercises, and empowering predictions, all for you. Dr. Harra's show aims to eliminate everyday problems, big and small, with topics like healing your relationships, reclaiming your power, achieving better health, dealing with loss, and so much more. Regain the joy, stability, and fulfillment you deserve to feel. Tune in to Miracle Guidance for Everyday Life with host Dr. Carmen Harra, live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and find the answers you've been looking for.
Good evening, my wonderful friends, and welcome to another episode of Miracle Guidance. I'm Carmen Harra, live on OMTimes Radio every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And tonight, my special guest and myself will help you discover what the planets have in store for you. Because it's all about astrology. It's an ancient science that studies the movement of celestial bodies and their impact on our lives. The truth is that even the smallest shift in the universal order of planets affect our energy here on Earth. And I am not an expert in astrology, but all I know that anytime I was supposed to sign a book deal, my company was not refusing to sign a deal when Mercury was in retrograde. So many people are under the impression that when a planet is in retrograde, something bad is going to happen. So as you can see, so planetary movement has such an influence on us. So each planetary movement simply requires us to perform a different task, or some planets ask us to sit still and introspect, or some ask us to reevaluate or take a leap of faith or change the course of action, or some planets ask us to jump. So it's important that we are aware of the planetary placement at the time of our birth, because our unique chart can tell us everything we need to know about our purpose, our calling, and our life overall. And as I said, I'm not an expert, but I know somebody who is. So this is my extraordinary friend, and a super beautiful and talented Maria DeSimone, a counseling astrologer, who will help us reveal all the mysteries of our universe and in our own lives. And Maria will share, all her knowledge. I want to tell you about her, that she's such a beautiful soul, and she's so smart and educated. And all I know about her, that she developed a love for expressing her thoughts on paper from a young age. And she also thought of a career when she was young as a writer, as a psychologist. She actually has a degree in psychology, so that's what me and her have in common. But she decided, to become also an astrologer, actually a counseling astrologer. And she created an extraordinary website, insightfulastrology.com. And she also works, has her own radio show, has personalized teleclass. She works with has a column on AOL, on Huffington Post, on LiveScript, on AOL, and on an international site, Buongiorno. So Maria is everywhere. And all I know from her, that she interprets astrology like the blueprint of your soul. But I'm going to invite her to the show, and I welcome Maria DeSimone to my show, and I'm extremely grateful to have her on today with me. Maria, I'm so grateful that you accepted to be my guest today.
Oh, beautiful, Carmen. It is just so nice to be here. It's an honor. Thank you. I mean, you are such a light.
For me. Oh, it's such a pleasure to have you. We've been friends for so many years. I mean, before the show, we were just saying, God, we haven't been talking in a long time. But I remember talking to you in 2006 on different station. And I want you to tell a little bit to our listeners, and then we're going to go to take calls, about how you define astrology, because everybody's fascinated with astrology and everybody wants to know their charts. And my producer, Christopher, who I love so much, I'm going to give you his chart, but then we have some caller. I'm going to invite one of my caller, Lisa, to give you her birthday. I'm probably going to give you my birthday. And so we're gonna take advantage of the fact that you're part of the show. But let's tell people, our listeners, and we know we have a lot of listeners, what is astrology? How you define it? Because you are the one to give the best definition or describe astrology in simple terms.
Well, the easiest way to define astrology is to consider that it is the psychology of astronomy. So astronomy studies the physical meaning of our universe, but astrology studies the psychological meaning behind the physical universe. And it's simple when you think of it like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could go on. I could get more detailed. I don't know how much you want me to say about it.
Right. Now, I want to ask you, so everybody has their birth charts, no?
Yes.
How accurate are those birth charts according to your own experience? Because you work for so many years with so many people.
Well, if you have a birth time from your birth certificate, that is typically the most accurate, because it's grounded in math and science, astrology. It is a metaphysical, spiritual tool that opens up your intuition, as you know, but it is grounded in math and science. And without an accurate birth time and latitude and longitude of your birth, an astrologer cannot construct your proper horoscope. And the horoscope is the blueprint of your soul.
I understand.
So now, it's remarkably accurate.
Remarkably accurate. You have a degree in psychology. You have a background in psychology. Do you find that having this background helps you understand how the mind works, and if this goes hand in hand with astrology? Does this go hand in hand, or is this a contradiction here? Or does one contradict the other?
I don't think that there is a contradiction. I think that astrology is a way to get to the root of somebody's troubles very quickly. And you have this insight into their soul, and you can start the healing process so much faster than traditional therapy. So that's where I see it, and I think I'm only helped by knowing how to talk to people. I cannot agree with you more.
Yes, I cannot agree with you more. You know, a lot of people are always asking about different forms of astrology, and I want to tell you if there's a difference. Like, I heard about Vedic astrology, Chinese astrology, Mayan astrology. Is there a difference between them, or no?
Yes, they're all different systems. Yeah, so Western astrology is my specialty. That's what I've studied. And Vedic astrology is more Eastern Indian astrology. It is based on the actual placement of the constellations, whereas Western astrology, what I practice, is based on the seasons. It's all accurate. Every system is accurate, because remember, it gets you to the same place, ultimately.
Right. You know, I've been fascinated with numerology, because actually I do believe that the way we created the system, the Pythagorean system of numbers, was by trying to associate planets with numbers, exactly like counting, looking up to the sky in thousands of years ago, and people try to, and this is the way the world of numbers was created, in my understanding.
Yeah.
And do you see a correlation between numerology and astrology?
You must be psychic. I literally was on the phone 3 days ago with my dear friend who is a numerologist. Her name is Allison, and she and I always barter readings. We talk to each other whenever we need each other. And through the years of combining astrology and numerology, there is always a connection, always with the themes of happening in your life. And I just think it's another phenomenal tool.
You know, I was even thinking inviting you to the show to suggest to you. I know you're busy. I know you have so much to do and a family, beautiful family, and so much work and your own radio show. But one day in the future, I'd love to do a book with you, you know, combining this knowledge, your extraordinary knowledge of psychology, knowledge of astrology with my knowledge of numerology and psychology, and kind of blending it and coming with something unique, but showing people where that somewhere, you know, everything coincides.
Oh, that somewhere sounds beautiful.
No, don't you think? Yeah.
I would love to. Thank you. We'll talk for sure.
One day in the future.
People would love that.
Yeah, because I don't think there's too much like this out there. I don't think actually there is a book like this.
Not that I know of.
No, because usually people do books on numerology or books on astrology, and they don't necessarily try to combine the two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There is a connection.
I think something like this, showing the world where things come together, I think will be fascinating and interesting, because it's a new approach, and I always think people go for something that is new and interesting and fascinating and opens door to a different way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can a person change what's predestined in their birth chart? Or is there, now we know there's free will.
Yes.
But how much can we change? Well, probably, I don't know if this is the right question, but...
It is. I love it. I know exactly where you're going. So, if I may, I would like to tell you, it's just a minute or so story about, I always say this to every brand new client.
Absolutely.
So this is how I explain the difference between fate and free will in astrology. The fated part of astrology is that you obviously know you're a soul in a body in this lifetime, and you chose to come here to experience certain things to get closer to divine love, to increase your soul development. So you chose, with God or whatever higher power you subscribe to come here at a specific moment in time, so that the planets would be aligned, giving you the opportunities to learn what you needed to learn, to go through what you needed to go through. You predetermined your talents. You predetermined your soul contracts, your short circuits and trouble issues that you would go through, and the dark traumatic experiences. It's all written. Now, that's fated. You cannot change it once you're here. But free will is huge. Because once you understand your energies and the potential to use your energy in the illuminative, soul-serving way instead of the shadow expression, you become the greatest cheerleader for your own soul growth in this lifetime.
Wow. That's so beautifully said.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it. Absolutely love it. And you know, this being said, I'm going to invite my first caller, Lisa.
Okay.
Lisa, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, so Lisa, I'm going to introduce you to a wonderful, wonderful friend of mine, Maria DeSimone, and she's a remarkable astrologer and psychologist, and she's everything. And I want you to give her your birthday so she can look into what are the things that you are born and where are you in your life, and if she can, you know, tell you what's going on with you right now. Is that okay?
Hi, Lisa. If I may, can I get your full date of birth?
Hello. Thank you for taking my call. My date of birth is August 1st, 1976.
1976. And what time?
3:39 p.m. Central Time.
And where were you born?
Paola, Kansas.
Can you just spell that quickly?
Paola.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Okay, give me one moment. Have you ever seen your birth chart before, Lisa, or studied astrology at all?
I studied it a little bit, and I've seen it just from like a program online.
Okay. All right. So I'm August 1st, 1976, Paola, Kansas, 3:39 p.m. That is from your birth certificate, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so is there any specific question that you had for me, or did you want me to just look at your chart and talk about what I'm seeing?
I'd love to have you look at my chart and let me know what you're seeing, and maybe if you can tell me what you see for me in terms of future love or relationships.
Okay, so first of all, love is so important to you for many reasons, but I'll start with the fact that you've got the Sun, Venus, Saturn, and Mercury all in Leo. Leo is all about giving love, warmth, and generosity. And, you know, you're learning in this lifetime with your Saturn placement next to your Sun to not have to apologize for shining, to not be afraid to shine your light. Even though you're this Leo, I get the sense that you're more of a Leo who is not as comfortable easily with being on stage, or is very focused and concentrated about making sure that whatever you give is just perfect and polished. So there's a karmic obligation to your soul to not be afraid to shine, and I want you to remember that. Now, this also has to do with opening your heart and giving love. And your moon placement is in Libra, which tells me you need a relationship in order to feel safe. You need harmony and balance in your love life. You are going through some instability right now that's probably continuing for the next year or so in terms of love. I am seeing, I don't know if you're completely single or not, but I am seeing a new lover or love interest coming into your world later in 2020. I would say late June, you're going to, you could meet this person literally out of the blue. So June of 2020 is when I'm seeing this sudden, unexpected, exciting meeting of somebody new. And this person is going to wake you up and challenge you in many ways. But remember, your soul chose to meet each other. Whether or not this relationship has staying power remains to be seen, because it's going to rattle you. It's going to get you out of your comfort zone. It's going to make you vulnerable emotionally. There are other things going on that make me feel that very strongly. So are you completely single right now, or is there someone else in the picture?
I am completely single.
Okay. And when was the last time you had a major relationship, if you don't mind me asking?
At least a year.
Okay. Now, I know since it's been at least a year, and I'm telling you that June is when I'm really seeing something for you, probably isn't what you want to hear. But I have to be true to the astrology, and I always have to encourage you to see the bigger picture from your soul's development. This person coming into your life is going to really push your buttons and get you out of your comfort zone. And instead of you being afraid of that and pushing it away, I want you to consider being open to this. You know, sometimes people come into our lives to remind us of potential and what could be. And this is a very exciting love affair that I'm seeing for you. And I hope that that's helpful.
It is helpful. Thank you so much.
Carmen, is there something you want to add to that?
Yeah, I want to ask, we're going to go to a break. If Lisa can stay 1 second more, because I want to ask one question. So hold on 1 minute, both of you, okay? Thank you so much.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at omtimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Looking for inspiration? Want to be inspired?
Not sure where to go?
Find Mark and Kim every Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on Inspired Living.
Topics will elevate consciousness and range from metaphysics to the human and social experience and all things spiritual.
Welcome to an inspired community that offers support, encouragement, and new ways of thinking. You are the inspired and the inspiration.
Melissa from Michigan. I work an extra part-time job serving lunch at my child's school, but I still can't afford to put food on our table.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
And I'm back on OMTime Radio. I'm Carmen Harra with Maria DeSimone and with Lisa. And Maria,
I'm sorry. I'd love to ask you if you think Lisa had and I know her story a little bit. She had a relationship with somebody that she was always questioning whether that person will come back in her life, because that person is actually alone and had a problem with addiction. So do you think, is there a way to find out through the chart if the person in June can be that person coming back, or is there somebody completely new?
That's a good question. And what I always tell people is that I see cycles. I don't have that crystal ball using the astrology alone to say who it is, but I see when it's happening. Now, having said that, I can tell you intuitively I am getting that it would be a very bad idea. But that's just my intuition.
So intuitively you don't think that person is coming back because it will be a bad idea?
The person might try to come back, but because what I am looking at for Lisa is an erratic, unstable cycle, then that tells me logically, Carmen, that if it's somebody from her past who already had an issue and they broke up, it's only going to rattle her more. And perhaps it might serve her soul better to have a new experience with someone else.
It was very strange. I've never seen anything, talking psychologically, of somebody who is not really breaking up. He's just not communicating, you know. And the reason of a lack of communication has to do with addiction. You know, when you're addicted to alcohol, you know, and what you do, you drink and you drink and you drink and you completely disconnect from the world outside.
Right.
And you live in your inner world, and that's a big problem. It's not that you don't want to be. So if she was reaching out to him, he would be very nice. If not, he was not connecting to anybody. So it's a serious mental problem. So is that a bad
about overcoming a fear of intimacy and shining her own light? And I think that the problem that someone with so much Leo energy has, who often is in the shadow, is that you give too much generously with love because you want to be loved so badly. And I'm not sure if it is healthy or serving you. And I would never tell you what to do. It is your life. It is your journey. It is your free will. And there is a chance that he might be the one who comes back to you. But you have to ask yourself at some point, is this relationship helping me grow? Is this what I deserve in terms of love? Because you've got Venus and Leo, honey, and you need to be adored and treasured and appreciated, and you need to be in a balanced relationship with that moon in Libra. And it doesn't sound like you're going to get any of that from somebody who continues to have a substance abuse problem.
Right, but the man was doing that at the beginning, and then all of a sudden, you know what I mean, the shift happened, you know, and when he drowned himself into alcohol, you know, and then the shift happened and the change happened in him. But he was like that at the beginning, so Well, it remains to be seen, but all I wanted you to tell her exactly where she stands in her chart. So I'm very excited that she actually has the potential of having that love that she is looking for and she deserves so much.
Yes,
and that's,
good luck, Lisa.
I'm excited for her. Really excited. Any questions, Lisa? Do you have any questions for Maria?
Covers it, but thank you for your time.
Oh, my
okay,
pleasure.
my Lisa. Thank you, Lisa, for calling in. I love you. Thank you so much. Okay, my love. We're gonna go to our producer. I want him to have the chart done. He's born 12/13/1960, 10 a.m. So
and where
December
is he born?
13, 1960, 10 a.m. in Nuremberg, Germany.
Can you just spell that?
Nuremberg. Let's see.
Nuremberg, Germany.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. All right, perfect. So I am looking at Chris's chart now, December 13th, 1960, 10 a.m., Nuremberg, Germany. And so 10 a.m. is, I always suspect when somebody has an even birth time, it may be a little bit earlier, a little bit later, most likely. So now I can see for sure that if we're close to being accurate, Chris is actually going through a significant karmic transition. It's called the Saturn return. Have you heard of this, Carmen? Or I don't know if Chris
has
I
did.
Heard of this?
Yeah, I know. I'm very familiar with Saturn return. Yeah.
All right. So Chris has a Capricorn rising, and he's got Saturn in Capricorn close to the degree of his ascendant, and he's experiencing his Saturn return. It's the second one. And if you do your first Saturn return well, this is actually said to be a reward Saturn return, where you come into the authority and become the master of your life in a significant way. And so you don't know until you talk to the person who owns the chart, because they always have to bring their astrology to life.
Right.
But I will say that Chris is coming into a very significant karmic cycle that has to do with being responsible about the development of his identity and his integrity in close relationships. And this may come across as a very big relationship transition, either with spouse or partner or in a business relationship, if that hasn't already started. And he might already see glimmerings of this from July. There could have been something happening in July that points to this theme opening up or him understanding more about this. But really early 2020, you're certainly at the end of 2019 into early 2020, you are fully coming into this experience, and you will have a significant transition in a relationship that is karmic for you. So is Chris on the line and able to talk, or are we just talking about his chart?
I think we're talking about his chart. Okay.
Do you know if there's a specific question or concern that I'm supposed to be looking at?
No, we were just wanting to find out if there's if this is a positive period in his life, if there's something in particular he needs to look for, or his overall life in the year ahead, if there's something that you consider is important to be addressed.
It really is all about this relationship, and I don't know, is he married or in a committed partnership?
I think he is.
Okay, so this could be with that person, or this could be in business, and it doesn't have to be negative. The theme to remember is that this is the Saturn return, and you have to take responsibility for where you are at in this relationship and approach it with complete integrity. And how he handles that really determines the level of what's going to be happening in this relationship transition.
I understand. So it's very significant. I'm going to go and, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you about my daughter. I was always dreaming for you to give me some insight into her life.
Oh, of course.
She can't call because she's traveling right now, but me as a mom, parents always want to know, especially if the kids cannot hear anything.
Sure. So what's her birthday?
November 9.
Okay.
1986.
And what time?
And she's born at midnight.
Okay. Exactly midnight?
Midnight, yeah.
Okay. And where was she born?
In New York.
In Manhattan, New York?
Yeah.
Okay. So. And again, exactly midnight. I'm always suspicious when I get those even birth times.
Yeah, no, exactly midnight. I actually, it could have been 2-3 minutes before. That's where the discussion was. That was actually earlier. I actually had a C-section, so I don't know exactly if it was 3 minutes earlier or was it just after, or I don't know for sure.
Well, you said November 9th, right?
November 9th, yeah. It could have been November 8th, but they put it on November 9, 1986.
Okay, because, it's so funny. I was writing November 8th, and that's why I said, wait, it's November 9th, right?
Yeah,
so
November
that's interesting
9th,
that I made that mistake. Okay.
Well, because it's very possible she actually was born, being 3 minutes before. That was actually November 8th. But you don't know exactly. It's hard to tell. When it's so close to midnight, it's a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes before. Then
yes. But it's so funny because I actually typed November 8th, so I wonder if she was born a little bit earlier. Okay, so November 9th, 1986, midnight in New York. And so I'm looking at her beautiful chart. Oh, she is so psychic. Oh my goodness. She's very psychic. She's got so much Scorpio energy, this woman.
Yes.
Wow. True. And she's really good with anything unusual and advanced and ahead of her time. She's a very innovative person. She has a combination of Aquarius energy with Scorpio energy. So whatever she does, she must be super intuitive and, almost just scientific, very advanced with the technology or very connected to philanthropy and humanitarian efforts. I see her, a very, very good person in that way. So what did you want me to look at for her?
I want to see whether my daughter will become a mom and in her own private life. It's all the same thing. As you can see, whatever people struggle in life is in their own private life, in their romance, their love life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So is she in a relationship now, or is she single?
She's for 7 years with the same person.
7 years.
But,
okay. Go ahead.
I question myself whether she will continue to be with this man, or she will divorce him, or find somebody else, or she will have a child with him. I don't know how this is gonna play out.
Okay. Okay. So I will tell you that she has the planet Jupiter coming into her 5th house very soon. The 5th house rules children, love affairs, and creativity. This happens once every 12 years. That you get this type of transit of Jupiter. And so what's interesting is that she does have some energy of possibly becoming pregnant, but just as equally, if she's unhappy in her relationship, let's say, and things are really starting to go south, then it is also very possible that she is going to meet someone and consider leaving her husband. And I have to be honest, Carmen, and I know that it's okay for me to say this because you wouldn't put her chart on the air. So I have to be honest and be true to the astrology. She has a couple of, I don't want to say affair aspects coming up, but I get the sense that there's more of a separative energy coming up for her and her husband in 2020. And the reason why I say that is because not only is Jupiter going into the 5th house, but the planet Uranus, which rules her marriage sector, is going to oppose her natal Venus, which is love and marriage, in 2020. And that is a very classic indicator of separation. Mm-hmm. And so this is coming up for her. So she's already feeling this on some level, but she may not be ready to actually leave. She's probably not happy. She probably wants more. She may start to feel suffocated in this relationship in some way. Mm-hmm. And it's probably going to be pretty unbearable for her by next July. And that is when I see the potential separation for her. And I actually feel that there's somebody else coming into her life. I don't think this is a pregnancy, although it could be a pregnancy, but I think it's somebody else.
Do you have an idea when somebody else will come? On the other hand, she would love to be a mom because the age, there's when you're 33, you want to have a baby. When are you going to have a baby if you're not having it at this age,
Right.
So on the other hand, she doesn't want to have it if she thinks if I'm separated from this man I'm with so many years, then just to have a baby and then separate, it doesn't make sense.
No.
On the other hand, she didn't meet anybody. I can say this man is not good to her because he is, but the sense of feeling suffocated is there. I agree with you.
That's going to get worse for her, and it's going to be unbearable. And she could probably, in November into December, well, no, I apologize. It's not November. It's December. It's December of 2019. She will have Jupiter conjunct Neptune in her 5th house of romance and children. And Jupiter and Neptune together is this dream come true, idealistic energy. So it is possible that she will either get pregnant in December or meet this new love interest in December. One or the other is very possible.
So one
or
the other means either she has a baby and then she stays with the husband.
No, I don't think she's staying. I don't think she's staying with the husband. I don't.
She's not. So then it means she's meeting somebody else.
Or she could be getting pregnant and then decide to leave anyway. It's very complicated
I hear
for
you.
her.
I understand.
But I do think that she will have the opportunity to meet someone else. And if she already knows that she's in an unhappy marriage, I would encourage her to wait because this new person is coming, and maybe that's meant to be the father of her child.
I understand.
Oh.
Okay, Maria, let's go to a break.
Yes.
Let's take a break.
That's a lot. So heavy.
That's a lot. So heavy.
The best of holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me the Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
I'm Fidel Nsombo. I was born in a city called Bukavu in the Congo. We were a loving family, and then, boom, everything that I had disappeared in a single day. People think that when you are a refugee and they resettle you to America, and all your problems are done. They don't understand that that's the beginning of everything. I was not born a refugee. I was made one.
It's time we welcome refugee families with open arms. Learn more at embracerefugees.org, brought to you by the Ad Council.
And I'm back. I'm Carmen Harra on OMTime Radio, and I am with Maria DeSimone. And you can find Maria, where people can reach you if they need to talk to you, if they need your services. Let's give them all the details.
Oh, thank you. So please just go to my website, insightfulastrology.com. And from the website, you can find out everything that I'm doing. I have a YouTube channel where I have free monthly video horoscopes. I have so much. I have a podcast. It's been on hiatus because I had a big move, and I'll be putting it back soon, hopefully. But there's so much. And, of course, for private consultations or for classes, that's where you want to go, insightfulastrology.com.
So go to your site, to your website, and from there people can schedule appointments with you?
Yes, correct.
Fabulous. And people can find you on social media, no?
Oh, yes, that's right.
I know you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook.
Yes.
You're everywhere.
I'm mostly active on Facebook, but Instagram and Twitter, I am there as well.
Okay. So, but in order for them to schedule a session, the easiest way would actually be going to insightfulastrology.com, and you have your own radio show.
Yes.
And your radio show is on
Constant Contact.
Constant Contact
podcast.
Yes.
It's the Insightful Astrology podcast with Maria DeSimone. Okay. It's available everywhere: iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Wherever podcasts are heard.
Okay, fabulous. I'm so proud of you. But we were talking about free will. So we were talking about the chart we did before. There's somebody who is married and then they go in through a certain situation. They have a free will to stay or they have a free will to walk away. You know, there is a free will.
Yes, and but remember, it's two people's free will when you're talking about a relationship. And you cannot control another person's free will.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. That's so significant. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'm so excited that we're talking because people need to understand the significance of the things that exist in their life, that they need to take charge, that they need to be aware of, the planetary movement, you know, the things that already are there, you know, they have to have awareness of what's going on in their life. So I highly recommend that anyone should have their chart done constantly to know where they stand so that they're not caught by surprise.
And you can use your cycles. It empowers you. It shouldn't scare you. You know, when I'm saying things, when I'm talking about these cycles, it's not to scare you. It's to make you aware. It's to wake you up to your soul development. You know, remember, people get so scared in the physical world that we live in, but remember, we are here on a mission, and everything is so much bigger than just us and what we're going through from moment to moment. Our reactions to it, how we handle ourselves, how we treat other people, it's so important.
Exactly. Now, let me ask you, let me give you March 25th, 55 in Romania, Cluj, C-L-U-G, like in John.
Wait a second. This is you, Carmen?
Me, yeah.
Okay, hang on. I need to... let me just get it in my software in the order. So March 25th, 1955, what time?
In 8 a.m.
8 a.m. And spell that for me again.
C-L-U and John. J like in John.
Okay.
John.
Cluj.
And
Romania?
Romania, yeah.
Romania.
Yeah, Romania.
Okay, I got it. And again, 8 o'clock. It's the same thing. All these even birth times.
Right?
Oh, my gosh. You know, Carmen, it's been so long since I stared at your birth chart, but I'm remembering now how much similarity you and I have and why I love you so much.
Right.
Oh, we have so much similarity and energy. Oh, my goodness.
Right.
Okay. All right. So March 25th, 1955, Cluj, Romania, 8 a.m. My dear, what would you like to know?
Everything.
You're going through a huge career transition. And I can't keep up with what's happening in your world and what you're doing, but you are about to have the planet Saturn and the planet Pluto together at the top of your chart, which is your reputation, fame, honors, awards. And this is a very rare cycle, and I actually talk extensively about the rare Saturn-Pluto conjunction that's happening on January 12th. I have a video on this on my YouTube channel for those of you interested. I go by sign for every sign, what this means for every sign. And so for you, Carmen, what's been happening, and you would understand an event in July, around the July 16th eclipse that we just had, really set the tone for this. There is a significant transition for you professionally. And I don't see it as negative so much as I see it as a pinnacle for you, a reward, you reaching a certain level of authority in your professional life. So this can be a major opportunity, and it's kind of, it's business related. I see you are a spiritual entrepreneur, but I see you very much as a businesswoman. You have extraordinary business talents, and so there is something here for you connected to the business of what you do, where you're going to be experiencing the potential for a reward. And it does tie into another person, a partnership opportunity, or someone that you already are doing business with. This could also be an agent, manager, publicist, that kind of a thing. So you're coming into this cycle of, because you're doing what you're meant to be doing in this lifetime, it should be a reward. It should not be a fall or a destruction. It actually can be a very significant cycle for you, positive.
Okay.
So that's what I'm seeing first. That's the most dominating energy for you. And what else would you like me to look at?
Do you see me, do you see television around me? Do you see music, touring, anything like it? Anything like this?
Okay, so for that,
it's all business, yeah.
So for that, I'm looking to Neptune. Neptune rules film, it rules music, and it's this energy. It's interesting. I almost wonder if what you're about to be doing, maybe it's that you have to choose one over the other, or there's a conflict ahead for you. Maybe it's that you have to pay more attention to the business side of what you want to do with music or with film. Because I am seeing a little bit of conflict with that, in the sense that there has to be more strategy with it, more business planning with it, if that makes sense.
Well, I tell you what's going on. So I'm going now to London because my music plays on the radio in London, which I never thought this is possible. I released an album of 11 songs. And I never thought that at this point in my life this can happen to me, but it is happening.
Congratulations.
I'm doing a new book, and I am trying to do a series on Amazon Prime. So I'm trying to do a lot of things. So I also tried to do a movie, but that I put on hold. The business part that you're talking about, I don't really see it. So I know I can be good in business, but I don't know exactly where and how, so that I'm not really getting right now. But
the business of music, the business of the film.
Yes.
The business side of those industries is what I'm talking about.
Right.
There's something to address, and you're going to understand this very clearly around January 12th. So it's not that it's not going to succeed. It's that there's something missing that has to be addressed with the business side of the music that you're doing and with the film that you're trying to get off the ground.
Well, the business side meaning making more commercial or getting more, making more financially profitable. Probably that's what you're talking about now.
Well, I'll tell you, you're in a very good cycle financially for passive income and to get venture capitalists and to get investors. So you're in a very, very strong cycle for that. And so use that to your advantage to address the business side of the music and what you want to accomplish, because it could be very easy for you to do that right now.
I'm single for a very long time since my husband died. Anybody coming in my life, I haven't even been thinking of romance for many, many years. But being alone, it's kind of boring. And I would love to have at least, a friend in my life. Do you see that happening or no?
Have you been completely single since your husband passed?
Completely single, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so you're gonna think I'm crazy, and it's not exactly when you want it, but I actually see it as another potential marriage, and it's going to happen very suddenly. And it is. I see it beginning for you in May, June of 2022. This is so significant. It is going to wake you up, rock your world, and it can turn into a sudden marriage. Actually.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. And I'm sorry, I'm not seeing anything very interesting or noteworthy right now for you. And maybe that's for a reason. You have other things that you're focusing on. Maybe part of you is avoiding it a little bit because you take commitment and so seriously. You aren't someone who would normally get married quickly, I don't think. You take
No, I never
commitment.
thought I would get married again. Yeah, never thought that I would do that again.
Well, this is going to be, and I promise you're going to have to call me in 2022. You're going to be madly in love with somebody. There are so many indicators. June of 2022, you're going to have Uranus conjunct your Taurus ascendant, waking you up, stimulating your relationship partnership axis. You're going to have Jupiter on your sun, which is the sun rules your romance sector. This is the person is coming into your life the end of May into June 2022. It is so beautiful for you. And you're having eclipses on your marriage sector. So you're really stimulated at that time. Very much so.
Do you see me leaving America and moving in Europe, back to Europe, or continue to live here?
That's a very good question. Okay, so, again, I cannot see where you're moving. I can see the cycles of, do I see a move? So, right now, I'm not so sure that you would be moving right now, but, I could be wrong. I'm not getting that very strong for you right now. Are you planning on moving, or you don't know yet?
No, I was just thinking, where in the name of God I'm going to meet somebody. I'm thinking whether we'll meet somebody in Europe, because here I didn't meet anybody in 10 years, so I don't know.
Well, it happens fast when it's meant to happen, when that soulmate's supposed to come in. And I'm not getting strong that you're moving. So, but did you see how strong I was about the love? And in 2022, you heard it in my voice. The astrology is screaming at that time. Screaming.
Right.
Very beautiful and karmic. You have Saturn on your Venus. Oh my God. There is no way you're going to be alone at that time. This is a very significant, I'm going to say you're getting married again. That's how much this intense
At that age?
Who cares? Elizabeth Taylor got married, 8, 9 times? I know people who get married in their 90s, clients. It doesn't matter. When it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
That's true. That's true. You're so sweet.
It's exciting.
It is exciting. So, what do you recommend for everybody who's in a moment of confusion in their life to reach out, to find out much more about their charts, and how do you advise people to go about finding who they are, where they stand, identifying their cycles, their path, what do you suggest to people, to our listeners?
Well, it's always a good idea, if you've never seen your birth chart before or had your birth chart explained to you, to start with that, the natal promise. It tells you about your strengths, your karmic lessons, your weaknesses, your lessons, all of that. And that's important to understand. And then the predictive element is a competent astrologer will... And it's interesting because there are a lot of astrologers these days who don't do predictions anymore. And I talk about this a lot. Some astrologers seem to be intimidated about doing predictions, and this is a skill that they have. They can do it, but they don't want to.
Yeah, they don't want to do it, yes.
They don't. I'm not that astrologer. I have no problem making predictions, because when I say something, I am using the skill. Everything that I say, I am using very specific skills to give you that information, and I will not say it unless I see the rules over and over again showing up for the question. So when you talk to an astrologer and you want your cycles done, usually an astrologer will look ahead for the next year and give you exact dates and give you exact explanations of what the cycles are. And this is so valuable, Carmen, because let's say you're somebody and you're thinking about, well, I want to start a new business. Is this a good year? Your astrologer can guide you and say, wait, this might be a good year, but wait until October. That's when it's best for you. Or, I want to have a baby. I've had so many clients recently who are having fertility issues and they want to have a baby. And I guide them and I say to them, look, this is when I'm seeing the cycles. You can listen, you can do what you want, but right now I'm not seeing anything very positive. And it's just about your cycles. Nothing very good or very bad lasts for very long.
Exactly. Exactly, absolutely. That's why, people should look into deeper into this methods of finding the truth about themselves in order to control things, in order to master your life. It's all about mastering your destiny. I always believed in that. I was always fascinated with the ancient teaching. It's an art, and it's a beautiful tool of bringing the best in you, of creating the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
So I can thank you enough, Maria DeSimone, for being my extraordinary guest today, and for everybody listening, I'm Carmen Harra on OMTime Radio, and go and check Maria's site and schedule an appointment with her. And Maria, I hope to have you soon, and think about doing something together in the future. I would be so thrilled.
I love you. Thank you so much, Carmen.
God bless you. God bless you.
You too.
I love you, everybody. I'll be back with you every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the best station in the world, OMTime Radio.